At Breezeline, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
We asked 10 Mountie Esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon Ice from Gamer Subs.
Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite, but now
Too long.
White Monster for sure.
Monster, the Fantasy Red Ruby.
The Mountie GG Gamer Subs that they provide.
Taco Bell, absolutely.
McDonald's is so much better.
Taco Bell has to be. I've eaten too much McDonald's since it's right down the street.
McDonald's. I like the Oreo McFlurries.
I'm gonna choose Taco Bell because it gives me less stomach problems than McDonald's does.
McDonald's all the way.
There's levels to this, and Taco Bell is at the top one.
Sheets guy all the way.
I actually don't know what Wawa is, but Sheets.
I gotta say Wawa. I grew up with Wawa, and I just think the food's better.
Sheets is the best thing to grace our planet.
I'd have to go with Sheets.
Definitely rough.
Injustice, no J-Naps.
Hydron, probably.
Probably T-Corral.
Either Skippy or T-Corral.
Croc.
Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkins. That was the first video game I've ever played. Webkins. Oh my god.
League of Legends. sadly, that was the first game. That's one of the only games that I played. I just enjoy it so much.
Mario Kart 7 on the DS.
No bully.
Probably PGE.
Some of the top maps.
Definitely PGE.
Angry Ginge or somebody in that realm, like Speed and stuff, they're pretty funny.
Probably my dorm.
Definitely Birchie.
I think the pond is one of the greatest schools you can buy.
The library, it just got renovated, much nicer, much quieter.
Definitely my room.
Probably the IT area in the library.
Yes, I love snowboarding. I've been snowboarding my whole life.
Are you a snow person?
Not really, no. I don't really like the cold a whole lot.
I prefer summer.
Only for playing Snow Day in Rocket League.
No.
Yeah, I love snow.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm from upstate New York.
I love snow. I think it's so fun.
I think I would play, I don't even know. That's the only game that I play.
Probably competitive TF2.
Probably Rivals, you know.
I'd probably just play Trackmania.
I think the culture at Smash is insane. I would love to play Smash.
I'd probably play Madden.
Gotta be Mount Aloysius College. You can't beat them.
Mounties, obviously.
I'm Aloysius, of course.
Oh my gosh, this isn't the question. Mountie Esports.
I mean, gotta be the Mounties, right? The culture here is unmatched.
The Mount Aloysius esports program.
Obviously, Mount Aloysius.
You're looking at it.
Gotta be the Mounties Esports.
Cool.
You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At BreezeLine, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 PIEA Fall Brawl powered by the eSport Company. We got a couple exciting best of fives for you here today, but before we get into all that action, I got to introduce the legend to my digital right, Sir Pegasus. How are we feeling today, my friend?
It's been an absolute pleasure to come back here for some more high school action. I've been missing it during the summer, it must be said. I feel like most people were out there enjoying it, living their holidays. For me, I just wanted TEC to come back. And it has done with a round-robin tournament, which we actually are reaching the very end of. This is round 7, final chances for both of these teams, and a potential invincible run to be maintained here by our Canon McMillan side.
Canon McMillan, I mean, they've been a staple of TEC for quite some time, and so I think it's going to be a tough test here for Mountain View, but if they can find a way to get over this big step, it might be that extra oomph they need to make it toward that quarterfinals here. But Canon McMillan, the Big Mac, says I should have brought my Big Mac hat I got a lot of times when they play, but a very talented team that's been around for a while. I think they had a couple roster changes, but Nitro still there as well, and a very dominating force for this squad.
Yeah, I mean, you see the names on that roster. You know what they've been able to do year in, year out. We, as well, with the summer, have had to say goodbye to some of these talents when it comes to the high school scene. But those that have remained, people like Nitro, are going to be able to profit of those who have left with likely another fantastic season to add to their records. And, well, in this full brawl, 5-0 currently being their standings. They should have a lot of confidence behind them heading into this upcoming series and for this upcoming season as well, which is actually going to be starting, I want to say this week. There's a little bit of an overlap.
Yeah, there's action starting this week, and then I know the going full force in the following week there as well. We've got the Land of Steel coming up on October 8th. Or 18th, excuse me, which is what these teams in the Fall Brawl are fighting for. So once you get that ticket into the grand finals, we'll be seeing, I know I'll be there on the 18th as well at the Land of Steel, and it's free for those to get in. So whether you're participating or just coming down to have fun, we strongly encourage you to get down to the Land of Steel, because those LAN events, that atmosphere, it's just unmatched.
I didn't know that it was a free-to-enter event. These are people looking to try and do it right. They're giving these opportunities as well to these youngsters to be able to compete at that LAN setting. There's not many people that can say that they've had that experience, even when you get to the older ages. So I tell you what, that's always something I've really enjoyed about PIEA and anywhere there they partner themselves as well, and of course TEC for being able to give us the opportunity to cast over these games as well. We hope to get this one started very soon. It's going to be a best of 5, and for Mountain View, I believe currently they have 1 series win to their record. If they were able to pick up another one here against Canon McMillan, this could be a big boost just before the season really gets underway.
Yeah, Mountain View is a team that I'm not as familiar with here, so I'm not sure if they're one of the newer teams that have come on board, but Cyan Snake, NRG Curry, we got Caden the Great and Mr. Donnelly there for them. So, yeah, they've had a little bit of a tough start here in the Fall Brawl. Maybe it hasn't gone the way they wanted, but, I mean, that's where that's the great time for growth, and you're right. I think, a team like Canon McMillan, even if you're not able to come away with a win here today, just looking to grab a game or something off of a great team like this could really kind of propel you forward. So all things that I'll kind of be keeping my eye on throughout this series.
I mean, the whole point of these opportunities is for them to get that experience, to have that competitive mindset. They can build up those team-based relationships as well. And they've got that coach behind them. So regardless of the results, they're not going to be leaving this series without any value to take from it. So these are all huge positives here. It's why I'm very excited to see how this series moves forward and how this team ends up progressing as the season continues as well, because this is very much just the beginning of their 25-26 season.
Right. Well, we're getting some news in the background, and I'm not sure. There might be an issue with one of the players, so we might be doing a 2v2. It could be a 2v3. Ooh. Things are kind of up in the air right now. We've had some crazy things like this in the history of TEC, and I flashed back to one of our seasons a few seasons ago where California played about 4 or 5 games in a 2v3 and won all but one of them. So it is possible. Canon McMillan has agreed to the 2v2, though, so we are going to let it ride here. And we're wasting no time. Down on the pitch, Mountain View taking on Canon McMillan.
Not often you get a 2v2, but Nitro, a player that loves to have space on the ball, has those mechanics to be able to dictate an entire game on his own terms. He'll pick it up yet again with that 100 booster right behind. Teammate will be waiting on that backboard. Very much going to play second fiddle in this attack, but anything that gets cleared out. First clearance comes out. Here he is from that second man. And you have to be a lot more intelligent when you're off the ball in these 2v2s. As much as you want to be involved with the offense, you don't have that third man for that bit of safety right behind you. Every miss could be a crucial counterattack, but so far, Canon McMillan off the start and no counterattack, looking like they're going to be of danger. That open net for Nitro, however, is going to speak dividends to what he does every single season.
A beautiful pass here as well, coming from right, and you'd see both defenders kind of baiting out from right here. It opens up that net, and Nitro, anybody from Canon McMillan really is going to capitalize on any minor mistake in front of that net. But talk about, Cyan Snake with a kickoff goal, and Mountain View right back in it.
And you can never count them out. Quick kickoff coming out. I like the slight delay on it. We see a lot of experimentation with that in the modern game, and even the youngsters coming up into the scene know that this is going to be a part of the strategy here. This one, though, favor of Canon McMillan. The follow-up comes quick, and it's a quick counter punch coming from our orange side. Mountain View, as soon as they achieve equality, didn't really see it for long.
They hoist the sails and they prep it for the wind, but unfortunately Canon McMillan takes the wind right from the sails and a relatively quick answer back. We might just have a high-scoring game here. Only a minute off the clock, 3 goals already, and Cyan Snake a booming clear that's heading toward the net, but Nitro does find the stop. Unfortunately, that secondary attack doesn't come in, and now a breakaway opportunity here for Canon McMillan. Nitro tries to thread the needle. It's a bit high and to the left, but can't quite put it on target here with that second chance opportunity. And now Mountain View looking for a clear.
Oh, Nitro, quick turn, great control. And that's a lead doubled. Once they're in possession, they're a team that are so tough to take the ball away from. Had a nice eye for his teammate as well to get that assist through. And you saw those two players creep up at that front post, and that always makes it such a threatening opportunity should that pass find its man. But with the quality on Canon McMillan, you're expecting that every single time. Quick again, it's another kickoff, it's another goal for Canon McMillan.
See that team synergy really beginning to sync up, the communication, and just a great little pass here, right? Steps up over the top, the defender maybe cheats out a little bit too early, doesn't get up into the air to challenge that one. And again, Canon McMillan, just a team that's going to capitalize on these opportunities in front of the net. They continue to do so with a commanding lead, and Nitro right back at it, finds another. Canon McMillan up 5-1.
And Source, this is feeling like a result that some people were expecting heading into the series, especially when you look at their positions in the table on paper. But I'm loving how Mountain View are playing regardless. They're still keeping that fight. There's been no real signs of giving up from them. And if they can pick up one goal, who's to say more isn't to come for the rest of this game? There certainly will be, though, on that orange side.
I mean, that's one thing I love about the Scholastic scene here is a lot of these students have that never say never attitude. And regardless of the score or the outcome, they continue to trudge to the trenches and fight with all that grit and determination. So Mountain View, they've got a mountain to climb here, certainly. But with 3 minutes and 19 seconds, it's certainly possible that they've not only got to slow down this Canon McMillan team, but they've got to find a way to put points on the board. And, well, from the comfort of our booth, it's always easier said than done.
Here to Nitro, has that control, wants to flip resets. It's a showstopper for the Brazil scoreline. The Big Mac sent an absolute cannon in the first game on stream.
The aerial prowess, the man with finesse. It's Nitro through the sky yet again. Now 7-1. Canon McMillan, the Big Macs, they don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. Mountain View has got to try to find a way to throw a wrench in the mix, and sometimes it can be done with bumps or demos. It's a way to alleviate some of that pressure, open up the backfield on the attack. But right now, it's Canon McMillan right back at it one more time.
To right. Jaiger takes it over one, gets it past the second as well. Some individual effort there from the second man on the Canon McMillan team. We've seen a lot of action here from Nitro, but this is showing the capabilities of the other players on the roster as well. You need that consistency, especially in what is typically a 3v3 format here in a PIEA full brawl. It's a reason that they've been those top dogs for so long, and looks like defeat still will not be added to their roster. Double digits incoming.
Yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon, and it took them a little bit to get going. You know, we saw that first goal, and then Mountain View was able to answer back. They had that kickoff goal, but once they really synced up here, it's been all give and go down the field. Beautiful passing plays, selfless actions from Canon McMillan, and it leads to goal after goal. And I mean, they are hungry for goals. They can't seem to get full. And Nitro on the attack once more, but they're going to have to backpedal here a bit.
Nitro. Nice control yet again. It's a big part of his gameplay here. I spoke about those mechanics. Another flip preset there. So that's the dossier. Right, Toiga. Off that backboard. It's a nice clearance here by Cy and Snake, and both players are able to recover themselves after the team bump. Just looking to try and hold down the lines here and potentially get that big 50 to try and launch their own attack. Not quite the angle to get that first ball. It's just outside that 6-yard box now. It's the danger area, center of the pitch, and you don't want to see a Canon McMillan player in that position if you are a Mountain View fan. Instead, they're just looking to recycle this ball around. That was almost a perfect infield pass here from Mountain View. Must be said, a lot of improvement in the last 60.
I agree. I think we've seen them step it up on both sides of the field here, but it might be a little bit too late in this one. However, if they could find a way to get another goal or two on the board, look to build some momentum for game number 2. Certainly something that could benefit them. We see him with a little bit of a breakaway, but unfortunately Nitro has read the play. Looks to find the stop by one defender and one more to beat, but he's got his eye on that 100 at mid. He'll scoop it up and look to see if he can do something with it.
Oh, first reset. Going for that second. It's achieved! And well, your multi-clip of the week winner adds another one to the montage. From the midfield line all the way across, tuck slightly into the left side of the goal as well. That had essentially everything you could ask for, and to make it double digits as that cherry on top.
And if you're not following the socials, the X, the Twitter, or the Instagram, it's all the more reason to do so, because you're probably going to see a couple of these plays from Nitro in the top 5 plays of the week. The man's having a field day out here and continues to go through the sky, but a great job by Mountain View getting up and challenging it this time. That's what we didn't see enough of, I think, in those early moments. You can't allow them to have all of that retail through the sky. So I have to agree. Mountain View has been stepping it up here in that last 60 to a minute and a half, and hopefully they can carry some of that over into game number 2.
Oh, musty flick as well. What can't he do? I'm hoping to see a little bit more in these next few games. If he keeps on doing this, he might have himself an entire video to make out of this alone. We might see a top 5 plays. It's going to be Nitro, 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 Nitro.
Well, I can't disagree with you. He's been a monster out here so far. The fake doesn't go in their favor. Mountain View does find a way to pressure it into the corner, but immediately backs off. No boost in the tank is right. Does scoop it up over both defenders here. A nice stop at midfield from Mountain View to keep the drive momentarily at a stall, but right now looking for his teammate in Nitro, able to bite out both defenders here. The net completely open, but this one goes bouncing high and dry.
Right off that backboard, a crossbar is hit to Mountain View. Do get that initial clearance, but it's low boost all around, and right trigger just outside the box as well, ready to collect. Another goal to add to the tally. And those Mountain View improvements we were seeing throughout the game, we already said beforehand that it was going to be a little bit too late to turn around this first. But perhaps they can look to squeeze it a little bit more in the second one. You speak about that difference between game management and series management. Sometimes you just got to know when you beat and be prepared for the next, and those improvements have been there for Mountain View. One final double time. It was almost a perfect team play. That would have been fantastic, but eyes on to the second game here. They've got that coach behind them, and I believe they'll be saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you take the look at the sliders, and it's pretty much as we had expected. Fairly all orange there, other than that save department. Nitro with 86 touches, 12 shots, and unfortunately for Mountain View, only that one shot. Now, their shooting percentage was perfect, that one shot for one goal, but we need to see more attempts. And I think a big part of it as well was that boost consumption. You know, we it seemed that Canon McMillan had a much better boost management system. We saw Mountain View in front of their net a couple different times with no boost in the tank, not able to get up and challenge that ball. So hopefully they can make the proper adjustments. I mean, you talked about it a little bit late in that one. It seemed like they were starting to come together in that last minute or so. So hopefully they can find a way to make it work here in game number 2.
And of course, if there were a team to lose that kind of record to, I feel like top of the table is probably your best option there. It's what you kind of expected coming into this series. You were expecting a strong team. You saw a strong team. And there's a bit of a reputation behind the name alone. Even if this was round 1, no series played, you see the Big Macs on the other side and the 3 players listed on the roster as well. You know you're going to be in for quite a ride. But they still show up. They still play. They still look to put out their best and improve. These are important developmental portions of their career where they are using it to its maximum potential. So you've got to have a lot of respect for these players. Don't concede a first goal already. Crossbar hit there by Canon McMillan. Some boost in the counts here for the defense as well. It's what you mentioned beforehand. It's the one with 0 in the tank, however, that finds themselves in possession. Bells away, doesn't want the 50, gets a 100 instead. Took it very, very seriously. Your advice there, Source?
A great learning opportunity as well. We always say there's no losers as long as you're learning, and I think that's the important thing here for Mountain View. Though they come out early with a goal here from Cyan Snake as well. He's able to pick the pocket right in front of the net, and honestly, I'm a little surprised because Joshua and Nitro have been playing together for many, many seasons. So I expect their team synergy to be even a little bit better than what we saw in that previous game. But Mountain View allowing some of that momentum, that confidence from late in game 1 to spill over here in game 2. But consistency is key. Can they continue it for a full 420?
Oh, it's another crossbar hit here. And, well, we spoke about this being a 2v2. We've witnessed a few 3v2s on the PIEA broadcast. This might just be one yet again with a Mountain View crossbar really having its foot in the game so far. First goal still Mountain View favour. The first time that they've had the lead in this series by quite some way. And if Nitro and Joshua are not going to quite have that synergy we initially expected, this is going to be the perfect time for Mountain View to try and rack up some goals before that changes. Post hit, crossbar yet again. They've got to be doing this deliberately.
I mean, as my boy Lava would say, the MVP, the most valuable post right now, coming up big for Mountain View, as Canon McMillan hasn't been able to find a way to lock in their first goal. And after 12 in game number 1, Nitro says, hold on a minute, Sauce, I got you covered. And a nice pass play here from Joshua over to Nitro. Well read through the sky, a subtle touch, a little finesse, and they find their first one.
For a second there, I really thought that was going to be crossbarring in, and that was going to be so poetic if it were the case, but still time for that to happen, of course. Nitro on the kickoff sends this one off to the corner. Cyan Snake leaves that boost for his teammate. A really selfless position to find himself in. However, unfortunately, they can't reap the reward. Second goal here for Nitro. He's going to be heading into those double digits if he continues at this rate by the end of this game individually. But that's an expected record from that caliber of player.
It's just unfortunate there in front of the net for Mountain View. Cyan didn't get the touch they wanted. RP was kind of forced to try to knock it away, but instead just accidentally sets it up for Canon McMillan. So an opportunity capitalized once more by the Big Macs. Nitro, like a shark in the water, smells blood, seems to be circling around this ball here, and one flick over the head carries it through the sky. One more defender to beat, but he's going to leave it for Joshua here. The shot a little off target. Nitro tries to scoop it up, but it does get a bit away from the car here.
All around, Nitro can control this to his own corner. Fakes it at first, and for a second there, felt like everyone's heart dropped as if that was going to go in the back of their net. Instead, looks to go coast to coast. Another flip reset for the record. Another goal to add to the Canon McMillan scores as well.
Another highlight reel for the man Nitro himself. He continues to splash these into the back of the net here, and now Canon McMillan picking up where they left off from that game number 1. They're starting to extend that lead a little bit, a nice 2-point cushion to work with, and now it's time for Mountain View to find that response here. They can't allow Canon McMillan to begin to run away with it already. Nitro, how do you stop him?
Goal of the series, can I call that? Musty flick to double tap. That is not easy, especially off the ground. You typically see these ones coming off the ceiling, coming off the wall. I feel like that's deceptively easier. It takes so much to lift that ball up, keep control against the recoil. They're gonna score yet again. This time it's Joshua. And despite what would have been a slow start for them, they are now back in full stride.
Don't be fooled. Just because Nitro makes it look easy, I can assure you it is not. Nitro putting on a masterclass out here, and Canon McMillan now starting to run away with this one. We're just halfway through it, though. There is time for Mountain View, but they've really got to start putting goals on the board now.
Down here to Nitro. First touch allows him to pick up a second. Flip reset, doesn't get it through, but Joshua was available as that second player. Doesn't make a connection. Now it's Mountain View's turn. Ariel doesn't quite connect, but he's got that second man right behind him. It's good positioning here to look to build up that offense, but when that ball's above the crossbar and Nitro is available as that option, it's very much a sit and watch, see what he's capable of. That will be credited as an assist, a pinch across pitch, making the impossible possible. And just when you thought pressure was all against the Big Macs, they know how to throw it right back.
Unfortunately, Cyan just going a little bit by that ball there. And Canon McMillan, again, it's a team that you can't make minor mistakes on because they are going to capitalize on each and every opportunity here. And that's what we're seeing. It was a slower start for them, but now already 6 goals, halfway they were where they were in game number 1. And Mountain View has had more attempts downfield, but they just haven't been able to solidify these opportunities. And Nitro's looking for a little more razzle-dazzle as this one gets knocked away.
And there was a nice leave here for Joshua. His turn off the wall. Nitro's already pre-jumped for it. That one ends up pinching down. First clearance comes through here by RPB, and that's going to be credited as an own goal. Just finds himself on the wrong side of this dropping ball. Unfortunately, that will also secure the sweeping scoreline, but I liked the plan here. Wanted to take it to those safe corners. It's one of those fundamental laws of Rocket League, but that's going to be back to the training packs for this one.
Yeah, you know, and honestly, I prefer to see that happen than just kind of hanging back and being afraid to go for the ball. I think you got to try to make opportunities happen. And speaking of making opportunities happen, Nitro through the sky, the double tap, and it just doesn't end. I keep thinking back to Jim Carrey and The Mask, and somebody stop me because I don't know how you stop Nitro at this point.
A Zen Classic, the signature shot that was dubbed. Scored in the World Championships. I believe it was the grand final. He is unbelievable. Another ball off the post. So this is what he can do when he regains it. It's such a good turn onto it. The 180, the fake as well right afterwards. What was it? How do you stop him? You were saying there before, Hot Sauce, because I'm trying to work that out as well.
I don't have the playbook here to stop this man. He's a monster and a menace, and right now an arch nemesis for Mountain View is, I mean, you take a look at the control of the car through the sky there, and a lot of times, you know, in the situations like that, the panic, the anxiety sets in, the emotions, and it's hard to capitalize, but Nitro, cool, calm, and collected, staying true to the objective, and continues to have a field day as he almost sneaks another one in here.
That was gorgeous. For a second there, I thought he pulled off a saw. Musty flick, keeps that ball forward. A Mountain View felt like they had an eye for that for a second there. Couldn't quite get a touch to it. And uh-oh, Nitro, 100 boost, flip reset as well. The ceiling bounce is going to make that more difficult. This pinch comes across, and now Mountain View have a chance for their 3rd goal of the series, but a clearance comes out here from Nitro. It's in those safe corners. He's beating a first man. He's off the wall yet again. That's the danger bells. That's the alarms ringing in the ears of the players. Joshua will connect. And those are the assisted goals that we expect between these two players. They've established this duoship for quite some time, and that will extend into the 25-26 season.
You love to see it from Nitro as well. You know, he has the capability of scoring and finding these crazy plays through the sky, but at the same time is selfless. And notice when teammates are open there, sets up a beautiful pass play. Now maybe looking for that 11th one right at the end here, and it almost comes in, similar to that previous one there as well. But from a 12-1 to a 10-1, Canon McMillan is here to let you know that this is not a fluke. They are just that nasty.
and that they're a 3-man roster. They've actually switched it up here. All available players now have been utilized in this series with rather similar results. So you can imagine how this team plays when all 3 of them are together. They are truly like putting together the Avengers and giving them a Rocket League team here for the PIEA. That's why they've seen so much success so far, and it's hard to suggest that this will not extend into the elimination stages as well. Just one more game win required to secure that sweep. It looks rather likely to happen, but I feel like the story is going to be in those goal differences, and seeing if Mountain View can this time prevent those double digits.
I'm interested to see if we'll now see Right Trigger and Joshua out, and Nitro will be sitting out a game, because Nitro seems to kind of be that star player. But nothing to take away from Joshua and Right Trigger, because equally very, very talented themselves. But Nitro has kind of been that shining star out there today, both on the ground, through the sky. I mean, the flip resets, the musty flicks, really just kind of putting out a showcase of all of the skills here today. So it is a best of 5. Mountain View hanging on by a thread, but at this point, it is do or die. They do need a dub here to extend the longevity of this series.
And well, we'll set sights to what the team is, and it's exactly what you called for. We get to see all 3 2v2 iterations.
Joshua, Right Trigger, now their opportunity to showcase some of the talent here. And they said, hey, we can get it done without him as well. Through the sky, right already into the upper corner, and Canon McMillan doesn't miss a beat.
Pulls the trigger early in the game. It's a lovely release as well to get himself off that ground, to catch that second touch. It's another one of those plays deceivingly difficult. Trust me, when you're in that position, you've got that recoil off the ball. It is so tough to control. Clearance here coming from RPB. That first shot is going to go wide. Does dodge away as well from that bump. That goal doesn't quite find its way in. Double commit here at that front post as well. RPB, I don't know if that's him being patient or him potentially having a few issues here. No, just patience on the play, and I quite like that in those positions. You don't want to be going too fast one way, otherwise they'll just put it the way of the other. Still, some momentum favouring Cyan Snake. This is a lot stronger defensively, but ultimately, Canon McMillan know how to break through a defense.
See Joshua here just turning on a dime, and both defenders committed to that one. It's a wide open net to Joshua. Is able to capitalize here one more time. Canon McMillan, a nice 2-point cushion, not quite a minute off the clock, and Mountain View needing a relatively quick response here. But again, maybe some issues there with RP's controller. Maybe he needs a little battery swap there, because nobody came out for that kickoff, and Canon McMillan does slow it down just a bit, but now right back to the attack.
That's a high ball. It's going to be a tough read. RPB was up for it. Really good initial defending. Second man comes through. That one's wide. We'll look for the third touch as well. And that would sign Snake's chance for the attack. Mountain View have sustained a goal in every single game so far. Be a shame to see that pattern come to an end. That being said, still a closer affair, but it's all freeze on the center and the right off the top of our screens here. But the third one goes in. This one, it's Right Trigger.
Triple threes. Maybe Mountain View can call upon the luck here of the threes across the board, but so far it's been all the Big Macs here today. Mountain View still searching for their first goal, and as Sir Pegasus had mentioned, they've been able to get one in every game so far, but haven't been able to crack that code just yet. A dangerous position to be in. Wright's going to dribble this one into the corner, though, and with a full tank of boost, Joshua looks for the attack.
High ball. Still Right Trigger's there to get that pinch across. We saw Nitro attempt some of those before. It feels like this might just be a part of a culture of Canon McMillan. All the players teaching each other their own tricks. Counter comes through. Joshua's wide. That second follow-up touch is going to be hard to hook himself around. It's not quite enough. And now the counter comes in. Could this be the goal for Mountain View we're waiting for? It's just a little bit too wide. Joshua will clear it to a corner. And it's a moment here of safety for Canon McMillan. And that is an unfortunate play to see run away from Mountain View.
Yeah, we saw Sion waiting for the opportunity there as well, but it was a great job by Right Trigger to slam into the back of them and make sure they couldn't find any opportunity. And now the other direction, looking for a little bit of a reset himself in front of the net. Has to dance around momentarily. Joshua trying to keep the drive alive. Up into the sky goes Right Trigger. The pass back, but Joshua has pulled off. Right tries to continue the pressure himself, but will be demoed away. Car parts scattered across the pitch, and Mountain View still searching for the clear.
Joshua pick it up from the pieces. It's wide yet again. Doesn't get that corner boost either. That bit of control will favor Mountain View. It's used for that initial pass. Another long shot is attempted. This time, the other post will prevent it. Joshua dribbles. Right Trigger's already up. It was a dangerous 50 to try and attempt on the side of Canon McMillan, but they get away with it. Control through, take it off the ceiling. And Joshua, you can see him creeping forward, as were both players of Mountain View. You can see them desperate for that goal they've been looking for. But they're going to have to wait for another counter-attack. It's Canon McMillan yet again.
I mean, I will say we've seen Canon McMillan with double-digit scores. They're going to get one more right here to make it 4, but Mountain View has been able to slow them down a little bit as far as on that offensive side, but we still haven't seen that goal come out from Mountain View. And so a nice lead commanding here from Canon McMillan, a 4-0 start for them. Mountain View still searching for that first one and just 87 seconds left to do so.
They've had more shots than they've had in previous games, though. That will definitely be a stat that they'll be rejoicing for at the end of this series. You want to be able to have the quality with it as well. Hold on a minute. That's just straight in. Science sake is credited, but I feel like this should be a 5th goal for Canon McMillan.
Well, you know, I mean, we see the clear that just doesn't go the way they want it to, and certainly was an own goal there. But I mean, that's what the way Canon McMillan is. They're just out there to score goals in bunches, and at this point, they don't care what goal it's on. They're putting up big numbers here, right into the corner, looking for the pass across mid. Joshua through the sky, and the handoff near perfect, but it's Wright who gets credited with the goal here.
And this is how you make up for previous mistakes. Off that corner, cuts in wonderfully. Flip reset as well. Teammate tries to take it, but he puts his hand out, stops him dead in his tracks and says, don't worry, I got this. 5th goal with just under 60 seconds to spare now. Mountain View, I want to see if they can pick up a second. This has been a huge improvement in performance as series has gone on. Imagine what a full season can do. But McMillan look like it's back to regular viewing. It's a 6th goal, though this one had a little bit of a ballet sense to it as well, especially from Right Trigger. A lovely catch on top of the ball, uses the flip off the back wall. A little bit of an early celebration afterwards. Strictly dancing. That's a 10 from me.
Feeling fancy, and it's contagious right now. Canon McMillan will find the stop here. The kickoff goal going toward the net for Mountain View, but already through the sky. Right powers it on in, and nothing too strong, but just enough finesse to get over the top here and find their 7th goal.
It's another very quick response to the ball, and this is going to be something that other teams are going to have to be concerned about for both, of course, the playoff stages for the full brawl and in the main PIEA season. I don't think many people are going to be betting against this team. These may be the favourites to go all the way for quite some time. We're going to have to see some step-ups in the rest of the competition, which is certainly possible. I mean, we can already see the improvement of the likes of Mountain View.
Number 2, and you know, that's what we were asking for. They said, asking you shall receive. Cyan Snake delivers a big one here as he strikes this one into the back of the net. They get their 2nd goal, and the first time here today that they were able to put 2 on the board. They've been able to hold the Big Macs under double digits here thus far as well. And so, you know, you have to give Mountain View some big credit here for making these adjustments as the series has gone on. You're right. You have to think about what the season could bring, because we've seen a lot of these teams have exponential growth throughout their regular season. So certainly we'll be watching Mountain View as time goes on, but this one is all Canon McMillan as they get their 8th on the board.
Well, we've seen a bunch of Brazil today. This is the first time we'll see a Barcelona, and this is an instance where actually we can look at the team with the 2 goals, and feel rather happy for them as well, because this isn't that double-digit scoreline we've seen in every game previous. And also, it's a sign that they were able to score a second goal as well. First one may have been an own goal, but I'll say that they forced the pressure for that to happen in the first place. Game is done. The test of Rocket League skill very much going in favor of the Big Macs, but this is also a test of personalities, and I'm so impressed with what I saw from Mountain View, who faced such a tough scoreline in the first and second game and saw them speed up instead of slow down as this petered off to the rest of the series.
Yeah, it seemed like they continuously got better with each and every game there, and chopping 2 points off of Canon McMillan with each game that went on as well. But Canon McMillan showed that they can put any member in there and get it done. They had a total of 30 goals through the 3 games there as well, and only allowed a total of 4. So Canon McMillan getting it done on both sides of the field here today, and I think you're absolutely right. As far as Fall Brawl goes, this is the team to look out for, but as far as the regular season goes, Biglerville might have something to say. I know they're the returning champions from the last couple years, and so maybe now an opportunity for Canon McMillan to look to topple those giants once we get into the regular season.
Potential mutiny waiting to happen in the PIEA. I'm all for it. This is going to be a little bit of a, rivalry at the top of the table, but I feel like it's going to be one of a friendly rivalry. There is a bit of a camaraderie here between these players, all sharing this opportunity. But you can see that 3-0 scoreline at the bottom of your screen, but this wasn't the story for Mountain View. We said at the beginning, no matter what, regardless, there was always going to be positives to take out of this series, and it's going to be more out of just the coaching sessions they can have otherwise about the gameplay. It was a real test of the mentals here, and they passed with flying colors. That's an A-star from me.
Again, and they put on a little bit of a show for us as well. We saw them slowly get better with each and every game. They were able to put up 2 goals in that final one there as well. So we certainly tip our hats to Mountain View for putting on a good show for us today. But there can only be one winner, so we give the firm handshakes and the GGs over toward Canon McMillan. We've got one more exciting best of 5 still on the cards here today, though. But with that being said, we do need to take a few moments to get those players loaded into the lobby. A great time to stretch those legs, grab those snacks, but don't go too far. When we come back, we've got more Rocket League action.
Sometimes I don't know what to do. Am I doing it right? 마냥 나이만 먹어가는 걸까? 다 잘하는 사람이 되고 싶어. 똑같이 하는 건 재미가 없잖아. 아무것도 아닌 나에겐 누가 말해줬지? 진짜 원하면 언젠간 되지. 말만 잘하는 사람이 되기 싫어. 진짜 잘해. 이젠 나도 할래. I'm gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 우리가 해냈다고 다 고개를 끄덕일 수 있게. Gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 그때까지 나랑 같이 갈래. 손을 잡아줘. 이젠 해낼 수 있어. 믿어볼래. 이젠 해낼 수 있어. I'm gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 우리가 해냈다고 다 고개를 끄덕일 수 있게. I'm gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 그때까지 나랑 같이 갈래. 손을 잡아줘.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy. You could save me from my isolation. My too complicated. I stop these conversations. Cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy. And it goes like this. You could save me from my isolation. My way too complicated. I start these conversations.
we're back with a 2025 PIEA Fall Brawl powered by TEC. One best of 5 done. Canon McMillan advancing here into the semifinals to take on Montgomery area in another best of 5. Still in the booth with Sir Pegasus. How are we feeling about this next matchup?
Well, it's for a spot at the LAN that we were speaking about at the beginning of this stream. This is technically a semi-final between Montgomery area and, of course, the return of a Mac the Big Mac's Canon McMillan as well. And, of course, they've just come off the back of a round-robin tournament, so they have played against each other, and it was a 3-0 victory for Canon McMillan versus Montgomery area. So at the moment, of course, expectations are going to follow that first seed as it does go on, but with that extra bit of pressure of that LAN ticket available, that's going to be your wild card. That's going to be your wrench thrown into the machine.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll remind everybody that LAN coming up on Saturday, October 18th from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Doors will open at 8 a.m. as well, and it's free to get in. All you got to do is head on down to the UPMC Event Center. I know Waynesburg and some other colleges are going to be there recruiting as well, and if you'd like some more information on that, you can head on over to TECesports.com/LAN of Steel. But with that being said, we're ready to get down into the action. This time we've got Montgomery area taking on Canon McMillan. I do apologize, that team name up at the top there, not correct. We'll get that updated for you here in just a moment.
And already you can see the first strikes there coming from Canon McMillan. Montgomery area to work their way out of defense, and this is actually something we've not seen today, a 3v3, which is surprising considering that's the format of the tournament. Here's something else we haven't seen. It's Canon McMillan 1 goal behind.
1 goal behind. You know, we flash back to round number 6 of that round robin where Canon McMillan was able to 3-0 sweep Montgomery area. So they are out here seeking some revenge today. They strike first while the iron is hot, but we talked about it earlier. Consistency is king, and they have to continue to keep up that pace for a full 5 minutes.
Cronus wants to chase, but intercepted here quick by right trigger. Icy Falcon gets that 100 boost, the extra touch as well. 2 teammates clash, and there's a little bit of space behind the ball, but Canon McMillan, the possession in their half, are willing to take it forward. Demo comes through, player waiting at that front post. Steel manages to get that clearance high. He's not going to be outside that danger area. Nitro has a flip reset, goes the entire distance alone, and this is what he's made of.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be expected at this point. He has had the flashy plays all day, and it's only right that he comes in with the equalizer here. Not even a minute off the clock. Canon McMillan able to answer back, but we haven't seen him take the lead yet in this series. Montgomery will be chomping at the bit to find another goal of their own, but Canon McMillan has been a relentless firing squad here today. And now with all 3 members on the field, you imagine it only gets worse as Joshua will find goal number 2.
Team is heating up. They're getting used to the format now. It was 3 players stuck up really close towards that play. That's what allows the one touch to beat all 3 of them essentially with that same play. Montgomery area going to have to watch their spacing. You're going to see the positioning of Canon McMillan. They are a bunch of high-ranked players that do have some experience alongside each other. They know how to pick up these passes, and that's what's allowed the peppering to continue.
Yeah, it's just been shot after shot, and Joshua scooping this one up off that play off the backboard there. The defenders were somewhat in the area, but just not able to get to it in time. So Canon McMillan picking up where they left off. They've got that 2-point cushion to work with. It's a little bit of breathing room as well, but if you know anything about this team, they're not going to get complacent. They're going to continue to do what's been working here, but now on the back pedal, a big demo comes in and an opportunity here for Montgomery area.
It's off that wall. First man comes through. Gonna have to rotate back for your Montgomery area, especially with Nitro looming. Double tap. Doesn't quite find the target, but that's going to be one of many warning shots. I'm sure we'll see Canon McMillan send towards that Montgomery net, but now it's going to be the turn of our blue side. Ball inside. Icy Falcon has a tough 50 to beat still. Makes rather light word of it. There was a deeper set player though in the form of right trigger. Ready to get that ball forward. Second man is out. Joshua was awkward on that first ball, and Cronus has been sent wide. It is a brief moment to breathe here, but a lot of pressure on Icy Falcon.
Somehow Joshua was able to get the card to the ball twice there, even though a bit awkward. And now the pass right to the mid, right trigger, scoops it up. The shot is good, and Canon McMillan now up to 4. They've had a lot of double-digit games here on the day already, and it seems like they're searching for one more.
A pre-jump there from right trigger as well in the build-up of that attack. That's how you know they formed that chemistry. You know that's their communication as well is in tip-top shape. And that's going to be really tough to see past. Joshua just able to catch that ball. It's a 5th goal for them, and it might appear that those double-digit score lines could return. We're on track for it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a tougher team. It's tougher stakes as well. It's more players, more defenders on the pitch, but nothing here to shake off the Big Macs.
Big Macs continue to bring the big heat here. 5-1, not quite to the halfway point yet, but getting close. Nitro through the sky, not able to connect on this one as Cronus looking for a half clear here. Can't quite get it. Has some help from the background, but Nitro already into the air. And that's one thing we notice about Canon McMillan. They're so fast, so aggressive, so quick to get up and challenge that ball that it's been hard for teams to deal with it. And they continue to be this relentless firing squad. It's another one from Nitro combined with right here, and the lead continues to grow.
And how gorgeous was that pass from right trigger. Has that ball caught on top of his car, goes for the backflip over that first man, knowing that that second is surely going to be available. That's positioning perfection. Now he's just going for the mechanics. We've seen what they can do together. This individual, however, does break through all 3. Still has to play this one into the corner, and it's another one for right trigger. Another Brazil as well for Canon McMillan. And those dreams of playing Avalana Steel with the man alongside me here on the desk as well having an appearance is increasingly high for Canon McMillan.
And they have so many just shining stars on this team that can make individual plays, but they're so willing to work together. It's a selfless team that finds a ton of give and go passes down the field, and I think that's an important aspect of a team, because shining individuals can be great, but it is a team, that makes it happen. And that's what we've seen from Canon McMillan very consistently here. They almost get a goal scored on them, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And Joshua, the other direction. I mean, we asked this question earlier, right? How do you slow this team down? From Nitro to Joshua to the whole crew, right trigger. And it seems like none of these teams have that answer just yet.
It's really tough to find because it feels like they've always got that ace up their sleeve. If you want to try and beat them positionally, well, that means you can't double team Nitro, and he's going to dribble across the entire team. And right trigger and Joshua were there available for that very same feat as well. So for me, I'd be looking for that extra bit of organization in the defense, still making sure that these players do not have the space to break their way through, and maybe a few demos as well, just to try and cull the herd a little bit. But for now, all 3 players on the pitch, and well, 3 is much scarier than the 2 we saw before.
I mean, they are just a scary team to deal with, and already knocking at the door of double digits yet again so far. In 2 of the 3 games they've played, they've had double digits. Now looking to make it a 3rd in this 4th one, and already through the sky. Nitro, the flip reset, not there, but guess what? A teammate is, and they continue to capitalize on the opportunities. They've reached that double-digit mark, now 10-1, and another dominating performance here by the Big Macs.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, Source. You see him go up there for the flip reset. You go, fine, I'll cover net. He goes for the backboard instead. There's a second man available right outside the box. And just as soon as that play is shifting, Canon McMillan are already those few extra steps ahead. They're a tough team to outspeed. You don't want to leave them too much time on the ball. At this point, you just need to make sure you can pick up some possession whatsoever, and that when those saves come through, we're able to maintain it instead of getting these clearances right out back into the center where there's a player surely available to give another one.
Canon McMillan's boost management, I mean, they're just smothering the ball down here in this Montgomery territory, and it seems like Montgomery just hasn't had much breathing room. They don't get a chance to reset often, and it's the relentless pressure time and time again. Nitro will flick it over, and it'll be the 11th goal here for Canon McMillan in just game number 1.
My goodness, it's enough goals for an entire series, and I'm talking best of 7. This is a best of 5. We've got all ones at the top of our screen, and it's double digits for Canon McMillan. Truly feels like a team that cannot be stopped, even with LAN being the result of this series. They are certainly not ones to feel the pressure, but they've got bad experience. They've been at the peak of their powers for quite some time, especially when you look at the names of Nitro and Joshua that have been those players that are most feared in those highest divisions. 3 seconds left. Montgomery area is going to be back to the drawing board.
At 11-1, and again, just picking up where they left off in that first series. So far, teams have struggled to put up more than 1 goal against them, and while they've struggled, they limit them under double digits as well. You take a look at the touches across the team, the shot column, everything truly reflecting how much control the Big Macs have over the pitch right now. And so Montgomery area is going to have to get back to the drawing board. You know, we saw Mountain View make some adjustments as their series went on. Montgomery area is going to have to do something similar, but almost tenfold here.
And usually when you want to pick your highlights from a series, you know, you have to go back, watch the VOD, really pick your moments here. But actually, these replay packages at the end of every game just goes to show you how they do it with class every single time. There's not often any scrappy goals from Canon McMillan. They are making it happen. It's pure magic on the pitch. And if they wanted to have a show reel, just clipping that portion of the stream alone would do the job. No need to be pick and choosy.
Yeah, I think both of their games today is going to be a monstrous, a plethora of highlights, if you will, because they have been unstoppable here today. It doesn't matter if it's 2s or 3s. They do a great job of spreading that pitch, the give and goes, the pass plays downfield, their ability to take it alone when they have to, when they're forced to. And it just seems like every obstacle they've been able to overcome. Nobody's really put that big wall up in front of them just yet. And even though Montgomery area was able to score first, it was something that didn't affect the mental of Canon McMillan, and they're already firing some bangers toward the net of Montgomery area.
Right, try to get back here to Joshua, and I saw him facing his own net, but did well to keep control. Gets that corner boost as well. The flip reset is all his to use. Part of me thinks he was going for a stall there and didn't quite get the direction right. 2 players there waiting on the goal line. That felt very accepting of their fate. Didn't want to go up to challenge early. Wanted to wait to dive in those final seconds, and it was working for the time being until Nitro decided it didn't anymore.
I mean, you can only stop him for so long. It's just about when he's going to be able to find that back of the net there. And again, striking early. It took him a little bit longer this time, so credit to Montgomery area for that, but still not even a full minute off the clock. They're able to find this goal, and it seems like once they find one, they find them in bunches. So Montgomery area is going to have to find a way to slow them down a bit here in game number 2.
Ball back on though. Nitro's on the reverse, still able to grab that 50. It's going to come dangerously off that back wall, but Joshua is available for that clearance. Doesn't get a bump on one, goes straight for net. And despite the options inside, Joshua knows he can go the full distance alone. A lovely beat from that first man who was just caught a little bit too high on the play. That lured in the second. And as soon as he saw there was that little bit of space tucked behind him, he made sure to pocket it every single time. I mean, Source, it is one thing to see these gaps in the play, but it's another to execute it at such a consistency. Canon McMillan are masters at both.
You make a great point. I mean, to be able to pull that move off consistently, time and time again, I think really speaks volumes for how much Canon McMillan has put in, you know, both on the screen and off the screen here. This is a team that constantly practices together in the off season as well. And you know, it's that kind of hard work and determination that pays off. So it's great to see it paying off for them, but Montgomery area, they're not ready to go silently into the night. They're fighting, they're holding on here, and so far it's a lower scoring game than we're used to, but Canon McMillan just seems to have that ability to be able to turn it on at any given moment.
I find it quite humorous how we're asking if Canon McMillan can turn it on in the remainder of the series. By the way, this is a team that is still 2 goals ahead and hasn't had really any threats against him. Another passing play didn't quite come through, unless you count the crossbar as a part of them. That falls straight here for Joshua. Another one to add to the records, and 3-0. We would typically call that a wide score line in a regular game, though that looks minimal when it's Canon McMillan.
Yeah, if you'd ask Canon McMillan, they're saying, hey, we're just getting started, and they have had their sights set on double digits every single game. So far, they've only fallen short in one of them, but it was still an 8-2 domination here. Canon McMillan now not only putting points on the board, but keeping Montgomery area scoreless here through the first half of the game.
I wonder what the players are saying on the side of Canon McMillan. Are they staying laser focused? Are they just having fun with it? What is the strategy when they're playing against a team that can keep the game close, and those like the ones they've played today where it's been rather wide throughout? As you said, that Big Laville should be a team that Canon McMillan should look out for in the regular season. Are they going to approach that game with the same caps on like they have done Montgomery area and the match beforehand as well?
You know, and it almost seems like they're playing their best when they are just having fun and they're laxed out here. I mean, the give and goes, the team synergy, it seems like the stars have aligned and everything is just in place here for Canon McMillan. But it is a good thing to consider and think about as time comes, because sometimes all of that goes out the window, you know, once the stars or the cars start clashing. So, but for Canon McMillan, they've got to get through Montgomery area here first, and so far they haven't had any issues doing that. It is a much lower scoring game for them, about 85 seconds left in this one, and Montgomery's been able to hold them to just 3, but unfortunately for them, they haven't been able to put any points on the board themselves.
Joshua looking to add another point to his board, though. Midfield is able to shut this one down. It remains in that orange area, ball across. But Nitro and Joshua were temporarily ahead of the ball here. A little bit of patience to see them all right behind it. Nitro flip reset, wanted that double tap, and there was a clearance there that actually favoured Montgomery area, but it came off the back of a Canon McMillan player. Another shot on, big clearance comes through. There's a player available to get that shot off as well if it had beaten Nitro, but what have we learned here today? You don't just beat Nitro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great situational awareness by Nitro as well. He knows if he goes up and finds a touch, it's going to make it exponentially more difficult for Montgomery area to find a solid shot on target. So Canon McMillan showing that they're just as great on defense as they are on offense. They've been able to shut out Montgomery area, and they're looking to do so. Just 20 seconds left. They're knocking at the net once more, right? Cool, calm, and collected. Unfortunately, not able to power that one in, but Canon McMillan's not done. They are relentless on these attacks, and now Joshua looking for something.
Nitro wants to take it across. They've been looking for those 0-second goals all day, and the goal line has denied them every single time. It's another attempt that feels a little bit deja vu like the ones before. Couldn't quite break its way past the line, but ultimately it would not have made a difference. Another victory for Canon McMillan, though the smallest goal difference we have seen all day, which, to be fair, is really saying something.
Absolutely. I mean, 3-0, I think it's a great start for Montgomery after giving up 11 in the previous one. Unfortunately, you take a look at the shot column, and I think that's where the biggest difficulty lies. Only one shot the entire game here for Montgomery area. So they've got to find a way to get downfield, get some more opportunities. We saw them able to score in that first one. So they've been able to slow Canon McMillan down on the offensive side, but now they have to pick it up themselves. If they can do that, we might just see them steal the game away, but Canon McMillan seems hungry for these sweeps. They broke out the brooms once here today, and well, it looks like they've got them on deck here for this next one as well.
Montgomery area are going to have to snatch that broom back and snap it if they can pull off a reverse sweep, and they want that ticket to that LAN as well. But I must say, it was a huge improvement, especially in the last about 90 seconds, I would say, there for Montgomery area. You started to see a little bit more build-up. They were not sitting on their back lines like they were in that first minute. There was a little bit of competition in the midfield, which is such a vital area of the pitch, especially in North America, it must be said. That's the midfield battle won by Canon McMillan. Not quite the one I was talking about.
That's just one of those frustrating plays that, you know, sometimes it just happens in Rocket League. But if you're on the receiving end of that, it can be frustrating for the mental. You're only 3 seconds in. So if you're Montgomery area, you really have to take a deep breath, reset, let that goal go, and just focus on the object at hand here and trying to put one on the board early. They're already getting some attempts down here, which is great to see. But now, Canon McMillan on the counterattack, already taken away from Icy Falcon. Montgomery area, though, and back and forth we go in some big pong action.
For his troubles as Nitro takes that ball forward, and I feel like that miss from the Montgomery area player was likely for the best. Cleared off to the corner, 100 boost picked up. Is he going to go for that solo dribble instead? Bells away, demo out, needs a second man on the ball. Unfortunately, it's orange. Joshua, 2-0 Canon McMillan.
And Nitro was down here in the corner, stealing the 100 away from Icy, and I mean, just always being a nuisance, even if he's not involved in the play, making sure to starve the competition of their boost. There was nothing left in the tank for Montgomery area, and they can't get back in time. Canon McMillan, a nice 2-0 start here. They were only held to 3 in the last one, and they're already at the heels of that scoreline here.
Back on Nitro, wants that left side. Post will stop it, as will Cronus as well. Icy Falcon. Quite like that corner-to-corner play, keeping it in that safe area. One of the fundamentals of defense. You can keep it up, but as well, you've got to be competing for those 100 boosts so that you can have those resources to pull off that great escape. They've got that first step. They've broken the halfway line, but Nitro looks to send it right back. Already had 100 boosts, but made sure that one was not going anywhere for anyone else. Not a double flip preset. This time, Montgomery area with a bit more confidence to see these players forward for that block, and I feel like that's what they've needed in previous games on their final life. A new fuel underneath these 3 players.
Maybe stepping it up, feeling the pressure of that do or die, that winner go home type atmosphere, is only one of these 2 teams will be punching their ticket into the finals at the Land of Steel on October 18th. And Montgomery just fighting at the chance to stay alive here in this series, but they're down by 2. They haven't been able to get on the board in the last 7 or so minutes here, and so Canon McMillan just showing that they can shut it down on the defensive side as well. But these last 2 games have been much lower scoring games than we're used to seeing here today.
It's got to be a lot of appreciation here for Montgomery area and how they've been able to dampen a lot of these opportunities from the Big Macs. Though, right, Trigger, that would have been a fascinating flick up, but double commit again in field, though. Not too much boost burned as a result. Still chances here to catch him on the counter. Cronus had a little bit more time than he expected there. Could have taken that touch now. Committing his flip and 30 extra boost is going to be a sign of danger, especially with Canon McMillan looking to pick back up possession. Icy Falcon, though, gets him out of that danger and allows some time for all 3 players to regroup. It's back into those safe corners. You've got to make a touch, however. It is box bound here, but Warren gets it back to this corner, and now Montgomery area will fancy their chances.
Fortunately, a big booming clear the other direction, and it looked like Wright was maybe trying to scoop that one up and shoot it in. Joshua will pick it up into the corner. Around the horn they go. The car gets a bit away from the ball here in Montgomery area. Will step up to find a bit of a half clear. Now the other direction, looking for a counterattack. Met for the 50, and Joshua back the other direction they go. It was an opportunity for Montgomery, but again, Canon McMillan right there to find the stop.
Oh, doesn't quite get that one on target. Still within range of 2. That feels reachable from Montgomery area with the pressure that they have been able to grab, even if the shooting stats will not quite show it. That's just Canon McMillan getting those clearances before it reaches the box. But those double commits, you can't allow them to happen. The next goal is surely the nail in the coffin. That's unfortunate.
Well, it's been maybe Lemony Snickets is lurking about. A series of unfortunate events here for Montgomery area, but nonetheless, Canon McMillan up on top here, 3-0. Similar to what we saw in game 2. Can they get over that 3 hump, and will Montgomery area finally be able to put one on the board? That's what I'm looking for. Can they crack the code and break into the vault?
And McMillan, though, all 3 players up. This is where they're gonna start going for those clips. They're confident that the game is won, but that could be an opportunity for Montgomery area to catch them off guard here. Double tap doesn't go on target here from Nitro, but it's a nice first touch here from that second man. Nitro wraps himself back around. That third was waiting deep for the right moment to pounce. Joshua yet again, 4-0. And just as I was saying, maybe this high attacking nature that they were throwing in the last 30 seconds could be their demise. They still find a way to make it work.
To nothing. Canon McMillan looking to punch that ticket into the finals for the Land of Steel, and they've made a great case to do so. It's been a day of sweeps and dominating fashion as they put on a clinic here for us thus far. Now with just 35 seconds, maybe not impossible, but now highly improbable as Nitro will find the fifth.
My goodness. It's another flip reset. Back inside. Nice catch for Nitro. Makes it easy for him to just secure that open net. And there's a little bit of respect there shown in chat by Montgomery area to their opponents. A bit of love for Nitro for styling on them, but I feel like there is some solace in saying that they have not been the only victims.
Oh, just 20 seconds left in this one, and Montgomery area will get on the board here, and so they find that first one. They break that streak that has been haunting them here for the last several minutes, and it's nice to see them get on the board, but unfortunately it's a situation of too little too late. 18 seconds, 4 goals needed, and I'm just not sure how they get there.
Yeah, it's too tough now. 15 seconds left. This is going to be a victory lap for Canon McMillan. No matter the opponents, no matter the stakes, nothing was able to slow them down to a stop. It was that slight dampening from Montgomery area. Now the final question awaiting and the final chapter closed as well with that 0-second goal finally achieved by Nitro. Will the lights be too bright? Can they do it at the Land of Steel?
It almost comes full circle there, right? They've been denied at the goal line every single game here today. And finally, as they wrap it up, they get that final goal in the 0-second. Joshua, your MVP in this one. And really just a great performance here by the Big Macs. Now, Montgomery area, much like Mountain View, I think got better with each game as it went on. And we even saw them hold the Big Macs to just 3 in that second game. So I think there's some valuable things for Montgomery area to take away. Some bot review certainly could point them in the right direction. And as we said before, there are no losers when you're learning.
Absolutely. They came in here as well to a semi-final matchup where they were the 4th seed. I mean, to find yourself in that spot in the first place is an achievement in of itself, a sign of potential in these players, in these teams that the coach will be looking to try and make the most of as seasons do progress. But as a 1 versus 4 matchup goes, where that number 1 is also Canon McMillan, it's a really good showing. And we spoke about teams that might be able to improve as the season goes on and really start to compete with those at the top. I definitely saw signs of it from Montgomery, should they keep that focus.
And honestly, that's my favorite thing about this scholastic level. You know, we get to cast these kids through middle school, through high school, and now some of them even playing for the Waynesburg streams or other streams that we do. So, you know, the progress from season to season and then eventually taking that step into the collegiate scene. It's been a lot of fun here at PIEA and TEC. So all the things that we keep our eye on. But for Canon McMillan, they punched that ticket into the grand finals. I think on the other side of things, Penn Trafford and California area were playing. I know we've got other streams going on, all the more reason to follow those as well so you can stay up to date. But so I think Canon McMillan's still waiting to figure out who they're going to be playing in that final land.
But either way, though, you've got to look at Canon McMillan. This feels like a team that can beat anyone when they're in good form. And I feel like they're always in good form. They were invincible to reach this point. Not a single series loss to get themselves into that grand final. So there's no real question of consistency. There's no real boogie opponents you can list either. It's all going to be about that setting, LAN, in person, with those opponents opposite you. Can you handle the pressure?
Is the big question. We'll remind everybody it's Saturday, October 18th from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern with the doors opening at 8. It's free to get in the Land of Steel. All you got to do is show up to the UPMC Event Center. I know Waynesburg and some other colleges are going to be there recruiting as well. And if you want to learn more, you can head on over to tecesports.com/Land of Steel. But with that being said, it is all for us here today. We would like to take a moment to thank everybody behind the scenes here at TEC, including our main man, our eye on the sky, not only producing but observing, Hazza back there on prod. And of course, each and every one of you hanging out with us in chat, from the parents to the students to the teachers and the competitors today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. So make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss out on any of the action. My name is Hot Sauce. That is Sir Pegasus. You guys have been beautiful and enjoy the rest of your evening.
I do need you.